and you'll see it spinning. So whenever I find something on here and I'm like, yeah, that kind of looks like a person, I'm going to freeze frame it, take a screenshot, I'm going to lighten it up to see what it's actually picking up. If there's nothing there behind it, then obviously we have something. If I see the frame is the same shape, it obviously picked up the frame.
Got it. Sure he's not pointing that way. Yeah, it's probably the apartment building. Unless... Wait. Wait. Hold on. What? Brooke. Wait, Mom. I think I saw someone dancing. They were going like.
Really?
Yeah, it was funny.
Okay. So you're filming?
Yeah, I'm filming now.
Cool.
So
I'm not to ask questions.
No.
Okay.
This is just reading. Look. See. Look.
Oh. What was that?
It's our shadow.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, I didn't know it picked up shadow. So the first time I was like, oh my God, there's like 5.
So you're only supposed to look at those dots, right?
Yeah. See if they're in a human shape. But look. Let me point at him. See.
Okay.
That's him.
Okay.
But like, see that one floating in the air?
Yeah.
That's someone. There was someone floating in the air. That's someone. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Honestly, to be honest, I don't believe in this crap, but you know.
You don't? Why? Because Dad said not to?
No, because that's it too. You and asked Dad. He didn't tell me nothing. I watch all these ghost things. Yeah, they're all BS. They're nothing.
We don't talk about that here.
But I mean, this is actually real equipment, so. look that one dude. Look, I'll show you one that I thought was twerking. Bro, come here, Mom. Look, the one that's twerking. Look at the dude in the air.
Oh yeah.
See that dude in the air?
Yeah.
Twerking. That's legs and stuff. That's someone. I know it's not him, because she's over there and she's floating there. See, there's another.
So straight ahead, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It looks like someone's holding a baby.
Yeah.
Doesn't it look like there's someone in the air holding a baby?
Yeah. Let me ask him. Wait. I was pointing at this air. There was no one. It didn't pick up y'all because there would have been 3 people. It was like someone holding a baby or something.
Okay.
I don't.
You got it on film, so I'll be able to check it out.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I take a note of that.
I saw.
Got you. Yeah.
Nice. Very cool. All right, so I need ELISA. I need to take note.
Wait, where did he go? Okay. Because I can't get involved with his camera. Mom, look.
Is it still there?
Look at this one. Oh.
See? Because there's no one over there.
That's a body.
That is crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool though. I'm just.
Still there?
Yeah, with
Well,
that.
there it is. There's a.
It's picking up the signpost.
Oh,
That signpost looks just like a person.
it does.
Bummer.
Whenever you want to see the word list, you just hit the little scroll to the right, and then you'll be able to see
Hey, where's he pointing? Okay, that girl has it now. Oh my gosh, guys, it's a ghost. Yeah, that's definitely that light pole. It's not a human. That might be human. That's Dad walking. That's him walking. Mom, it's kind of hard to do it when there's so much people.
Yeah.
Then it's like, yeah, there's definitely no ghosts. But Mom, those poles and stuff, you cannot tell the difference. Watch. There's Brooke. It might pick up Brooke a little bit. See, yeah, there, that's Brooke. But Mom, if they're moving, you gotta check your surroundings first. No one there.
Well, that's why he's here to debunk.
Yeah.
Tell you, is ELISA here or is she not?
Okay. Ghosts should be moving around though, right?
Not necessarily. I think they're doing whatever they're doing.
See, like, that car. Make sure not to film that. Mom, you know what I think is cool? Look up there.
I know, that's really neat.
Yeah, I think it's a hotel, isn't it?
All right, Kate, what do you got on there? You got anything yet?
Alright, let's see. Got anything? Huh?
How about you? How's
Yeah.
it going?
Got stuff, so.
Cool stuff, man.
You know, like some signs, you know, some posters, you know, the shadow, people, you know, a lot.
This thing's super loud. Hurts my ears.
I know, dude. That's why. That one's. Can I see?
It's static.
Yeah. But when it gets loud, it gets
It's really loud. Yeah.
This is really fun. See, if I see ghosts that's walking, then it's a ghost. But if it's a human, it's a human. See, look. See that dude? Look, that's a sign.
That's your sign.
That's some sign. Look, just looks like it. There's two of them. See, it looks like it's doing its choke, showing its dance moves. Look at it. It's going. Showing its dance moves. It's pretty cool. Teach me a new dance. Like this person's probably, if he moves, this person's not gonna move. He's just dancing. That means that's either my shadow or someone. That might be someone.
All right, everybody, let's head towards the back.
Yes.
You can if you want. You want to give your hands a break?
Stop.
Catch anything else on yours?
A little bit, but I'm trying to think. It was the structure or my shadow or something else.
Good
Cause
for you for debunking on your own, man. I love it. Joe,
Yeah.
did you get anything on yours?
No, nothing I could really make out.
Okay. Again, it's not easy. So, further, because we actually had some really high readings. So right in the center of the space, we had a 40 and a 41. I already told you that your TV reads about 40 to 60 milligauss. If you were to stand next to a microwave that's heating up your lunch, with that device that Allie has, it's going to read about 150 to 170. The highest I've ever seen that device go has been in this space at 214. We left. I'm a guy with epilepsy. I'm not playing with that much electricity in the air with a neurological disorder. So again, that's why I give those safety warnings at the beginning. So again, it could be for my safety. Nobody wants to watch their lead investigator have a seizure because of paranormal activity. So, did we have something going on yet? You guys didn't give me enough clues where I'm like, oh, we have this, this, and this. We did hear things on your spirit boxes. We had, the word red showed up over there from the big red barn. We have a couple of terms where I'm like, yeah, I'm not sure about it, but you heard something, so I'm going to write it down. We had the name Paul show up. I don't know who Paul is. Could be Bleed Over from Big John's Tavern.
Yeah, I think I heard Paul too.
You heard of Paul as well?
And then I heard flood and free. I don't think free means
Baby flood.
It does, actually.
Oh, really?
So with that said, I'm going to go over the answers and kind of show you how this is going to roll through the rest of the evening. The reason why I like to bring you guys here as one of the first spaces is because it's so active. So this way it kind of gives you the greatest opportunity to get used to how to listen to your devices or how to watch your devices. So let's kind of go over those answers. Whenever I break out the tablet, by the way, you don't need to huddle up. I will go around the room so I can show you everything that's going on. Matt. So the first thing I always like to do is kind of give you a mugshot of who we are trying to hunt down. This is ELISA Lucas Pinckney, maiden name being Lucas. First wife, ELISA Lamb Pinckney. So the maiden names we were looking for out of Elisa's device were Lamb and Lucas. So this wife, the second one, married Charles at the age of 22. He was 45. So again, it's creepy to me because I'm close to Charles's age and my oldest daughter is Eliza's age. So you can see where the creep factor kind of comes into play for me. So that's basically who you were trying to hunt down. Who had the questions about what happened to the mansion?
Oh, me.
Brooke. So this is the only photograph of the mansion that we actually have. This is
a real
exactly
photograph?
where you're standing right now. This is fire damage from the Great Fire of 1861. At times, when we get terms like fire, burning, blaze, which we didn't get in real time, we will get 2 to 3 numbers out of the date of when this occurred. This happened on 12/11 of 61. Notice how specific those numbers are. So who heard the number 59? Somebody heard of 59. So again, not relevant here that I know of, but again, definitely 61 would be a definite relevant number if we had the term fire show up. Every tour in town, if you're staying here and going to be taking other tours, is going to tell you about a fire because we've had dozens of them. This is the fire that took out the Pinckney Mansion. This is a map of Charleston. You can see that the orange is the fire. It literally went from one side all the way to the other side of the peninsula. And it took the water of the West Ashley River to put out the fire. This was about $5 to $9 million worth of damage. Don't ask me what this equates to now. So you're probably asking why the Pinckney Mansion didn't burn all the way to the ground. It was made of more material than just wood. So again, it had other pieces in there. The children, who had those? Joe, that was you, right?
I did, yeah.
So there were 4 children. However, if Eliza doesn't feel like talking about it, she will tell us she has 3 children. So here's how this one goes. We already know about Charles, right? Signer of the Constitution. Next child I bring up is Thomas, Revolutionary War hero, fought in the Battle of Camden, was shot in his left leg and captured by the British. We didn't get anything relative to Thomas tonight, but these are the clues that I look for. Left leg, battle, Camden. These are all things that have come up in the past. So again, even the word limp has shown up here with his name. So again, those are kinds of the clues that I look for. The next child is the one I ask you not to poke the bear with. This is baby George. Baby George didn't make it. June of 1747, he was born and he died. We don't know if he was days old, if he was weeks old. The weird thing about George is he does not have a headstone or a grave. My theory behind this is that they would have mummified the child during those times and kept him right in the home, in a tomb, waiting for his mother to pass away. So it's going to get even more weird when we talk about Eliza's death. And by the way, don't go home and Google mummied baby and not expect a phone call from the government. So don't look that up. That's a religious practice is how you find those answers. But anyway, one more child. Her name was Harriet. She married Daniel Ory. Why is that important? Ory County is Myrtle Beach. That's 2.5 hours north of here. That's where she lived. Wouldn't have been a 2.5 hour car ride for Eliza. Lots of letter writing, quill, ink, paper, published. Those are the kinds of terms we get around Harriet. Eliza's death. Who had those questions? That was the 2 regular S boxes, right? Yep. So Eliza was 70 years old when she passed away. I like to point out that that's a long time for a woman to be alive during colonial times. She died in 1793. She was going to Philadelphia getting treatments for whatever they thought she had. It turned out to be breast cancer. We didn't know what the hell breast cancer was in 1793. We're going based off her medical records. As far as her death, she died there. She's buried in Philadelphia. Raises 2 questions in the back of your brain. If she's up there, what are we doing here? I don't take you to actual cemeteries. Why? Not many people stare at their graves when they're gone. That's kind of how it goes. People go to their mansions 400 miles away. which is why I bring you to spaces like this. I know it seems odd, but we do get a lot of activity here. The other thing is baby George. If my theory's true, they would have transported him, horse and carriage, his tomb in the back of it, all the way to Philadelphia from where you're standing. Kind of a creepy thought for 1793 to be carrying a tombed baby all the way to Philadelphia. It's a long trek. Who wants to take a guess who the president was that was the pallbearer at her funeral? 1793. I see a lot of head shakes. This is good.
No.
It's good most of you can't answer. I think she's already got it. It was George Washington. So I seen her like going through the years, but this is a good thing you couldn't all answer, because when we got here, I told y'all I'm not going to give you questions like what color is George Washington's white horse? And I subliminally put George Washington in the back of all of your brains, waiting for somebody to give me the answer out there. You all pass with a fail, except for Brooke. So again, that's a good thing. I do that on purpose so I know who I'm working with, and that way you're just not going to repeat everything that I'm talking about. That's why I withhold information. At his own request, he wanted to pay homage to ELISA based on her indigo that helped get the country started. This was a very big deal to him. So again, very big deal to her. I'm sure it was if she would have known about it. So all of the things that I just told you are things that I've learned from investigations. This is not a Charleston run city tour where they told me I had to tell you about certain things. This is all stuff that I've learned just by investigating and the terms that we've gotten. So here's how this is going to go from moving forward. We're going to go to an alley from here. Now, in the alley, along the way, your EMF detectors. So, Sophie and Allie, you guys can ignore your readings until we get into the alley. Your base will be 5 in that location, because we will have lamp posts near us that give off about a 4 to a 5. So when we get inside the alley, that's when the video cameras can start recording again. Keep in mind, it's a very popular ghost tour stop. Do not yours. You can actually hold it just like a briefcase. That's why there's a top handle there. So turn it on and then just kind of hold it to your side. But anyway, Amanda, she just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. She has an attorney helping her out with all of this cash. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money. He tells Amanda, get rid of the doctor. He goes to Charleston to prove that he's not after her money. So, by the way, Max, if you see anybody coming through here, just kind of drop it just like what you just did, but you can continue recording. Again, just don't look like a YouTuber. 4.2, again, 5 is what we're looking for. 5.2, okay. Touchy because you were near an electrical pole. So, kind of wait to see what everybody else has heard or seen and see if it matches up. Anybody else get anything?
You know, walking the corner, I had like 5.9.
She just had a 9.2 walking in here. 9.4. Okay. Anybody else hear anything along the way here? I know it's a short little walk.
I got to say your prayers back there before we Wow.
So I wait for this every night. As soon as we start getting close to St. Philip's Church, all of the religious terms start to come through. It happens on a nightly basis. So I don't bring it up until we have that, kind of mentality showing up. So this will be a place that we will be able to spread out, but we are going to discuss pirates first. So no worries, this one is actually very exciting. So let me kind of get through this, because I know boring, history can be very boring and drawn out. We're going to be discussing that little tiny building over there. That's the powder magazine. It serves 7 different wars by holding gunpowder in basically one rebellion. Those are not crosses on that building, by the way. Those are earthquake bolts.
Oh.
If you're not from here and you don't know what an earthquake bolt is, it's a turnbuckle. So if we have another earthquake, you're basically supposed to tighten those turnbuckles so it tightens up the building so it doesn't incur any further damage. It's a great idea, it just doesn't work. I see the look of concern on your face, Candace. She's like, yeah, that's kind of weird. The reason I bring them up is because it's part of the reason why we're here. Those are the first earthquake bolts that Charleston ever put in. Why? Because it's the oldest government building here in South Carolina. We are here because Anne Bonny would recognize this building. It was finished in 1713. It's what I call a familiar. You guys all watch the TV shows, right? Where you've seen them use a teddy bear to attract a child ghost? This is the same type of mentality. So it's what I call a familiar building, so it's just a familiar ghost. Again, Anne is said to be seen all over town. So let's kind of get into her history. The building took 10 years to build. Does that sound like our government? Small building, 10 years? Not at all. But anyway, the story begins right in the middle of its construction, 1708. Try to follow me, there's a few twists. I will always slow down on twists. 1708, a young lady moves here by the name of Anne Cormack. She comes here with her father and the father's mistress. The mistress is Anne's mother. Is everybody with me so far? Okay, the 3 of them are running away from her father's angry wife. How mad was she that they had to leave Ireland by boat to come here? Just saying, gentlemen, treat your ladies right. But it's kind of a joke. You're supposed to laugh, guys. But anyway, they land in Georgetown. Dad bought a plantation, Mom died pretty quickly. That means Dad is sending young Anne down here to sell anything from the plantation to keep things afloat. So take a step backwards to Ireland for a minute. Anne was kind of a badass. They say she killed one of her servants with a knife to the belly when Anne was only 7, 8, 9 years old. Remember, this is pirate lore. None of the numbers are going to be perfectly exact. So just like to put that mentality of this young lady as we go through her history. Fast forward, the building's done in 13. By 1715, pirates are coming to town. Anne is stoked. Why? She's going to fall in love so she can earn her freedom, just like a man. It's a man's world at this point. So, first guy she falls in love with, James Bonny. You already see where this one's going, right? We've already mentioned her pirate name. Dad didn't approve. He's a filthy pirate. They ran away to Jamaica. They got married. And Cormac became Anne Bonny. When they got down there, she realized that James Bonny is not Captain Jack Sparrow like what she was hoping for. This guy turned out to be a privateer, which means he's a spy for the British. He's a coward in her eyes. So, as she falls in love again a few years later. We're on guy number 2, by the way, and there's a handful. We're going to go through them all. Guy number 2 is John Rackham, a.k.a. Calico Jack. This is the guy that they based the Johnny Depp character off of. So, just so you know who we're talking about here. So, this is the guy she wants. He has his own crew and wants to be part of it. You can't put a girl on a pirate crew. Does anybody know why? And keep it family friendly. Because why? They're bad luck.
Oh.
We'll make it nice and simple. Girls are bad luck on a pirate ship. So he makes a deal with her. If you dress like a guy and look like the crew, you can be part of it. But you're going to be a female in my quarters. Adults, let's put 2 and 2 together. She's eventually going to get pregnant. You can't have a pregnant pirate dude on the crew. Somebody's going to figure out that she's a girl. So he drops her off in Cuba. We'll have the baby here, come back later, we'll figure it out. She goes and has a baby, returns with no child. We have no idea what happened to that child. No amount of my research that I've ever done on pirates has ever figured this out. But part of this story is significant because she comes back dressed as a female. This makes Jack angry because now everybody's going to know he let a girl on the crew and they're going to get him off the ship. He captured another pirate crew and they're down below deck while she was gone giving birth to his baby. So she's going to go flirting with that new pirate crew to make Jack even more mad because that's who Anne is. Guy number 3. Guy number 3 turns out to be a female, dressed like a guy to be part of the pirate crew that Calico Jack captured. Now we have 2 females, dressed as males, on the same pirate ship. This young lady's name is Mary Reed. She went by Mark Reed to become a pirate. Her and Mary became friends, possibly lovers, we're not going to really know for sure, but the British find out where they are and send a fleet of ships after them. Rumor is that Anne and Mary were the only 2 pirates not drunk enough to come up and fight with their 1-bullet flintlocks. Obviously, 2 ladies with 1-bullet guns are not going to work against a fleet of ships. They get arrested. As they're being arrested, Anne looks at her beau and captain, Calico Jack, and she says, "I'm sorry to see you here, Jack, but if you would have fought like a man, you wouldn't be hanged like a dog." The word dog shows up here a lot, and collars and all kinds of things wrapped around dogs. But anyway, the judge wants to see the 2 quote-unquote men that fought back so valiantly on their own by themselves. He's already tried and hung Calico Jack, they're dead and gone, and the crew that was too drunk to come up and fight. The 2 ladies go in front of the judge and reveal their gender, hoping to save themselves, and he doesn't care that they're female. He's still going to hang them because they're still pirates. "We plead our bellies," was the last thing they said, because you cannot hang a pregnant woman in 1720. It's illegal. He delays the hanging, sends them both back to jail, but Dad is still up here in South Carolina with all of his Irish money. He bails out Anne, brings her home, remarries. That's husband number 2, but guy number 4, because we're going to count Mary. We don't really know. She has 4 kids, guys at the age of 84. Yes, very abrupt, I know. However, Mary Reed died a year later in that Jamaican jail from whatever pirates die from in a Jamaican jail. Most books and articles will tell you that it was something simple like fever, whatever, but I'm going to say let's make it romantic. It's probably scurvy. Why the hell not? We're talking pirates. So, I only left 2 things out for all of you communication device people, all your spirit boxes. I left out the name of Anne Bonny's parents, so you can ask what those names are, and the name of Calico Jack's ship. So anything else you want to ask, this is not a prominent English woman like what we were dealing with before. Again, I have a phrase that I use all the time called know your ghost. And it's basically you got to know who you're talking to, and so you know how to approach them. This is a pirate. It's okay to poke the bear a little bit. I'm not saying scream and yell at her, but you don't have to tiptoe. We can be a little bit more forceful with our questions. As far as things that we've gotten here in the past, we've gotten obviously Anne Bonny's hair color, her parents' names, we've had other clues about where she was from, the direct city in Ireland, just so you know. I will tell you that, Robert, with your camera, the largest orb I've ever caught has been in this location. It was larger than my head and intelligent, so it was very unique, just so you know, and it was caught over there by that wall. We're lucky enough with, again, 2 cars. That seems to be the consensus of the night. Other tours love to cut through here. They'll stop, talk about the powder magazine, and move on. stay away from them. Definitely don't film them, but we are going to spread out and kind of see what we capture in here. Has anybody heard anything? Kaitlyn, looks like you were pretty focused on your earbud. I know at certain times you're like, oh, okay, that's kind of a weird part of the story. Anybody else hear anything or any other numbers that I need to know about? EMF detection, I am only excited about normally on this back half. Otherwise, because we have parking meters on the other side of the bushes and 2 electrical poles in the corners. So it's still going to be a 2.5 on the back half. So again, if you get something like say above a 6 or 7 on the front half, I may look at it like that 9 that you had. 6 point something, okay. So you had a 4, 5, and a 6. Something moving around a little bit. Allie, did you have anything at all? All right, I'm gonna write those numbers down, but everybody, let's spread out. Let's see what we can capture.
Wait, so I've been looking at this tree. I'm probably thinking it's probably one of those things right there, but
Yeah, whenever you have something like linear like this, it's more than likely gonna pick
yeah,
that up.
yeah, those are just
Because it's looking at depth perception.
Yeah, it would look like someone picking up something on the tree.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm probably thinking either the building or something that's under it setting it off.
Okay. More than likely.
And that
I
sign.
gotta write your numbers down.
And that sign is right there.
What's my questions again?
The name of Amazon's parents. Copy check some shit. There's a little scripture, another religious time.
Brooke, look, it's funny. It picks up my shadow.
I mean, it's gonna be picked up.
Wait, what's the pirate's name?
Again,
What's her name?
the game we're playing with all of these
Here, ask him.
devices, did it come from
I don't know.
like, is it just radio chatter, or is it
Some senator. Our matey. That's the tractor. That's definitely gonna pick up because that's yeah. Will you chatty with us, matey?
Chatty with the
No, Mom, the phone messes with the flash. The phone messes with. Wait. What? Maybe? Okay. That disappeared.
Tell me about the calico jack shit. What's it called?
Okay. That's kind of weird.
Will in and talk to me.
That's Dad. Who are you? Who are you? Has a big head. Yep, that tree's gonna give me the same reading.
Jay, it's also on the radio. Like songs.
Oh. That wasn't. The song. Yeah, Mom. Make sure you try to go over here where we were, because then they could have just abandoned that spot, but then we just.
But take me back.
Yeah, they could have. Mom, you don't want me over here.
So when we ask her directly, we get a red.
Very
It
cool.
is cool.
Wait.
What you got?
So wait, I didn't get anything on. I mean, you struck my hair is red. I know you like red.
I know. Well, that's my daughter's hair was red when she was born, so we like a ginger. She's Irish, makes sense, right?
Yeah, yeah. Hey, anyone want a juice box?
Sport, ladies. What do we have?
What was your parents' name?
What is that thing?
Jay. That was a ghostly hand that grabbed his butt.
Oh yeah. Here, let me check. Oh. Whoa! Who is this mysterious lady? Wait, see if I can spot anything in that hole.
They get a digital readout of the answer. Alright. Spanish guy that come out of here?
An evil spirit came out of my butt over there.
Wait, what if I can check it on this?
Do not feel me farting, it'll probably show up.
Oh dang, you're tall on this, Dad. Brooke, Dad, did you just rip another one?
No.
Okay. I think it's also voice recording all of this too.
Great.
That's okay. It's going to us and 4,000 more people. It's not bad.
Right.
It might get on YouTube, so. Hey, go sub to my YouTube channel.
Come on, Ann. Tell us about yourself.
Alright, matey. He looks lonely over there.
Dad, are you stinking up the parking lot?
Are ya?
Wait, Mom. I heard Brooke saying say 6. I don't know if that's what I'm going. I heard it say 6.
Okay.
I heard 6.
62. And then I heard Landon and Kurt. Like something like
Oh,
that.
I saw it 6. Was that 62? Because I was over there too. Right.
Any crazy other happenings with that night? Right.
Do we-
Start thinking.
Yeah.
Should we stop the recording or should we keep recording?
It's up to you at this point. I would say like once we leave this space, we're gonna be walking like 2 blocks, so we'll probably stop it like as we leave. Anybody else hear anything since I last checked in with somebody?
Oh yeah. Dad. Every single person over there, they're all active. Human bodies walking. There's human bodies walking.
Watching it.
That's what human bodies walking. You might see him walk. Yep. See? Yep.
You can off that light pole.
Okay, well, over there it wasn't because there was no light pole. See? Nope, that's the building.
Yeah, you filming?
See those right there? Those are those. So don't worry. Those aren't anyone. See what? It's gonna pick up on that tree. See? Look, it's gonna pick up that human. Babe! Babe! I did see some things in the graveyard, but it's probably just the fence, probably.
So let's get Robert and Candace on the bench.
With him?
George Washington was Bay because everyone loved him.
It's her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Look, Mama.
Always like really.
All right, guys.
It's a
so
bunk. I learned how to bunk this thing. Creepy. I would not want to be left alone here.
I would want to do that.
Yeah, because
I would love
you don't think.
No, it's not that I don't think it's cool.
First time I came here, guys, I hadn't been coming here long, and I don't know much about the space, but the first time, we actually had things relevant to this man behind me. We had the exact year of 1828 come through on the spirit box, the name Henry, and the name Tim. This is Henry Timrod. This is a monument of him. He was a writer and a poet. Obviously, he was alive during the Civil War, and he was old enough to fight. So he goes out to, he was sick, by the way, for most of his life. When he went out to the battlefield to go fight, his comrades realized he was too sick to fight. He sent him home to go be the voice of the war, knowing that he was a writer and poet. Go tell the world what's going on out here in poetry format. That's exactly what he did. Poetry got him the name, the Laureate of the Confederacy. So it's a pretty big title for us ravers and English people. But a few years after he comes home, he has a son. His son was named Willie. And we asked him about the son's name, so we estimated on Friday. And he was born on Christmas Eve, and he was only alive for 9 months. Very tragic that he died so young, gone. Of course. So 2 years after his son's passing, his college buddy calls him up, and his name is Paul King Hamilton. If you get his initials on your Ouija board, PHH. So he calls him up and says, you know what, I have a cottage out here in Columbia, right in the middle of the state. Why don't you come out here and finish working on the piece you're working on? And you can leave Kate behind, that's his wife. She's got her parents there, so just come out here and work. So he goes out, and that's where he writes his last words. His last words were, beholder of brief mortality. Translates to person of short life. And then he coughs, and it lands on the page in a blood stain. He had tuberculosis. That blood stain looks like a man writing at his desk. So, they show this book 1 day a year on Halloween at the Charleston Library Society. You have to be a member of the society to see the page. However, the internet is beautiful. So, I'm going to show you what the page looks like, and then we're going to go ask some questions and see what we can get out of it. Those of you, by the way, with the camera, I definitely want you filming everything that's going on with that, so you can see where it looks like a man writing at the bottom of the page. And his last lines to me are just as important. Life, person of short life is who he was addressing. And then he dies right on the page. So, again, this is called the Blood Book. That's what it's called here in Charleston. So, we're going to be asking questions about Henry's son. We're going to be asking about the year that he was born. We can also ask things around us. Like, for example, when I said we did this the other night with a double blind, we had 2 people blindfolded. Somebody was ringing the bicycle bells right outside on the sidewalk here. I said, Henry, can you just tell us what you hear? One person said, can you hear me? The other person said, did you hear them? So at the same time, like they over-talked each other. So those, I was like, all right, we heard bells, but it was definitely something about hearing something. So it was definitely all right, we kind of see what else we get. We've gotten the wife's name out of this before. We don't usually get much about the son, but we're going to continue to try because we've had it in the past. EMF spikes in this location, like I said, have gone all the way up to 161 and 157. And it changes in location every single night. Again, there's a ton of monuments in here. We might get relevance to, we heard Liberty, Liberty, Liberty on the way in, and George Washington is right there staring at you, waving. waving you in. That's where we came in. So let's go see what we can get. Definitely continue listening to your gear boxes. We're going to keep them under for about 10 minutes because if anything more than that, it'll be very disorienting. Wake up in. So I'm going to be timing him for 10 minutes, and that'll be kind of our last hurrah. So keep an eye on your ear neck fields and keep listening in, and we're going to see if we can get anything out of it. This gets a little intense, especially for him. Can you hear me?
Huh?
Go ahead and pull that off. Okay, pull that off for just a moment. So go ahead and get him the spirit box. I'm going to speed it up. Okay. Just make sure that's not my. Yeah, he's going to have both of them in, and I'm going to speed up the spirit box to a level that he's comfortable with since he's done this before.
I'll film around him, so see if any ghosts show up. That's someone. That's a pole. That pole does very. That's 2 people. Oops, sorry.
Might want to turn it up a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so we have Henry here. We want to know if you're here, but once you start your name, let's start off with something nice and simple. Tell us what your name is. Henry, tell us what your name is. You'll notice when I'm doing this, I'm addressing Robert as if he's Henry himself, because that's the way we want him to feel at this point. Henry, you can use Robert here. He's got a hat on. He's got the box with the red lights like I used last
Tax.
time. Max.
I think
That's what he
it's
said.
tax or max.
Max. Pretty sure it's Max. Tell us your name, Henry. Let's huddle in around him. I don't want other folks kind of looking at us kind of creepy. Henry, why don't you tell us what your name is?
Each.
Each. Each what? We want to know what your name is, Henry. Anything else specific you'd like to tell us? I was just trying to start off with something simple. Tell us about your job. What did you do? What kind of work did you do? You want to tell us about your work? Any letters showing up over there, Kathy?
No.
Nothing that makes sense.
Elise? Lisa? Come on, Henry. We're all listening. We're here. We're wanting to know more about you. You know how this works.
Family.
We've done this before. We had the word family show up earlier, just so everybody's reminded of that. Which part of your family do you want us to ask about? Which part of your family? Who? Who do you want me to know about?
Tropical.
Tropical. You haven't seen anything tropical, Mr. Henry. Getting anything on yours, Joe?
Stop.
No, I'm not going to stop, Henry. I got a good group of folks here. They're trying to learn more about you. Henry, what kind of facial hair did you have?
Rider.
Ryder. Is that Ryder or Ryder? We all want to think it's Ryder, don't we?
Yeah.
Help.
Help you do what, Henry? And which part of the family do you want me to ask about?
80.
Henry? Tell us your wife's name.
Love.
That's who we're asking about. Tell us your wife's name. What was her name?
4.
See how he's getting better at it? Takes him a few minutes to get oriented. We want to know your wife's name, Henry. Timrod was known for his distinctive mustache, by the way. It was almost like a Raleigh Fingers type of. That's why I asked about that. It's a pretty distinctive feature about him. Henry, tell us about your wife. If anybody's hearing anything,
Local time.
just let me know. No, I don't want her unmuted at this point. Yeah. Henry, tell us what happened to you. What happened to you? How did you die? You answered us last time. How did you die? Any letters coming up? That makes sense? PHH, HT, WT, KT,
TV.
TB? Do you have TB on there?
Dangerous.
I don't.
Oh, sorry. Dangerous. Come on, Henry. Being very respectful tonight. Come out and talk to us. Anybody have any numbers? Allie, you got anything? Sophia? Nothing?
Left turn.
Tell us how you died, Henry. You know, I can't keep them under for very long.
1.
Got about 2 minutes, Mr. Henry. That's when people book a tour with me. It says Ghostbusters, what do you want? Like Janine from the movie.
I know her.
Solution.
Solution. Henry, got about a minute left. Last chance. Notice how quiet he got? He's been pretty well there for a while. All right, Henry, I'm going to tap him out. 3, 2, 1. I don't want you to get up. Go ahead and take your blindfold off. I only leave you under for 10 minutes.
All right.
Just because you can get disoriented if you're not used to this, especially working at night like this. You know, just stay seated so that way you don't get dizzy or anything. I do want to ask one thing. Did you say rider or writer?
Rider.
Like ride a bike?
Not like, yeah, like ride a bike.
Okay. Because we were all questioning that. We were discussing a writer, and we all got a little excited, but it was kind of like, did he say rider or writer? So, but how do you feel?
Interesting.
So we didn't have anything other than the word family that you said that correlated with anything that was already caught here. When I started talking about this man's family over there, ELISA, I'm sorry, actually had the word family show up the minute I started bringing up his family members. I wouldn't call this a total success, but again, nothing was like coming relative to the questions we were asking, but you'll have the full video. Hopefully somebody was recording it for you.
I was.
Okay, perfect. So that way you can kind of see how this works. Any other major questions about how this works, guys? You guys got the gist of this, right?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Can you control what he says?
What he says?
Yeah.
He's just repeating what he hears.
He's
right?
repeating what he
okay.
hears from the sweeping.
Oh, okay.
And I turned up his sweeping, so he should have only had mainly white noise.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So if he heard anything or said anything, it's because he heard it.
Oh, okay.
That's the only thing he's going to be able to repeat. So he kind of got the gist of this because he already knew what the method was.
Okay.
That's why I chose him to be able to do this. So again, this was kind of a lighter night, again, but we don't know what I'm going to find in the morning. Again, when I go through my spot checks, I do go through and rate every investigation. Sorry, I feel like I'm looking over my shoulder up to you guys. Where I can kind of see if a moon phase affected something. Was it the equipment we used in correlation with another? Again, I don't always have 11 people. So again, I need to kind of look at what actually had.
Count with the bells going off.
Not to mention I'm telling you about a score. So that kind of works too. Or maybe count Dracula's near us, who knows? Told you no vampires and werewolves on this group, right? Hopefully most of you realize that ghost hunting is not always a scary thing. It doesn't have to be. It's about the history and showing some respect to knowing your ghost and learning more about them. So they're patting you on the head because you were probably scared out of your mind walking into this, I'm sure.
Yeah, but it was fun. I like this thing.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
What other major questions do you guys have?
Does Andrew mean anything? The name Andrew?
It would be if there was something else correlated with it. My name shows up here all the time, like on our tour, like on our route. My middle name is Andrew.
Oh. What's your first name?
Nichols. So it'll be very interesting if something else pops up with that, which means the person that normally tags along with me finally decided she was going to show herself after me 4 years of doing the tours. Or most of the time she just lets me work.
What's the craziest story you have from a tour?
From a tour? Well, the transgender one is a good one.
Yeah.
I would tell you one specific night, this was when I first started doing this, was probably a year in, on a spirit box. I was using a reverse spirit box. So what that does is it's a recording of two people talking backwards. So they took it and they just flip it backwards so that way anything coming through in forward motion sounds legit. So I heard baked beans on, it was baked beans for breakfast, I think, on my reverse spirit box because I was using it, and then we had the word tea on the word list, so on Elisa's list, and then it was something like we had a full sentence, and then it turned like I had no idea baked beans for breakfast was a thing in England, and we were at the Pinckney Mansion site when that occurred. Elisa's from England, so my guest had to explain to me why I heard baked beans for breakfast, and so it was like I will make you baked beans breakfast and tea. Like it was a very full sentence, so that's a really good one. One of the most craziest things I've ever had on my investigations was the Flight 93 Memorial in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, where the 9/11 planes crashed. Well, one of them. I don't like to go in knowing all the history, kind of like what we did with Robert here. I just want to know some emotion occurred here, and from my thermal imaging camera, I have somebody overlooking the site, full cold body, on a nice summer afternoon, and he was all blue, wearing a hat just like me. There 1 second, gone the next. I also had names of the passengers show up of people I did not know. I like to review the data first and then do the research to kind of see what matches up. I want to go in kind of blind so that way I'm not looking for things. Now with what we're doing here, I've been investigating most of these spaces for a good 3.5 to 4 years, this one being the most newest one. So again, this is the one where I'm still learning. This is where I get to develop things, but it's fun for the Estes method because I don't know everything. By the way, the writer we actually asked questions about like how did he die. We were waiting. We actually had somebody said tuberculosis just a few nights ago with that paranormal team, and he didn't know the answer. So we asked how he died, and we got tuberculosis within a minute. So it was pretty clear. So he didn't know that the guy died from TB. So it was really cool stuff. That was the same night of What Did You Hear with the bicycle bells that were going by. So we had some really good stuff. That was a very successful, Estes method session. Was this one as successful as what I've seen or what I hoped for? Not necessarily, but again, we're still experimenting. We never know. Not to mention, Henry is a very shy, introverted writer. He doesn't always come out. Normally, if it's busy in here with other tours, we're not going to get much. I was hoping, because it was nice and quiet tonight, with nobody else in here, that we were going to capture a lot. But all of my investigations are in a podcast and blog, so if you're interested in those, they're going to be at the top of your data page. I also wrote a field guide, so if you didn't have the thermal imaging camera or any of the other devices, obviously it's a field guide to show you how to go through the media for that particular device with evidence from previous tours that I've done. So again, it's showing you the legit ways of how to go through it. The only thing that's not on there yet is the SLS camera and the tri-field meter, because those are brand new. So until I know something about them, I'm not going to teach, that in a formal format. That thing's going off like crazy, by the way.
I know.
I keep hearing it.
Well, it's going, but it's not making any sense.
Not making
Just
any sense.
Random
I'm just wondering if you're picking up EMF from the lamppost behind you, which is probably the case.
Yeah, I mean, it's been going off a lot.
So
Yeah, even not near the.
Yeah.
So at this point, I will start collecting your devices. My business card is digital,